I really enjoy the comment section of the YouTube channel. I also have a Facebook group. It's called Tip You in the App. It's for rideshare drivers. You'll see a link to it in the comments below, in the description below. And you can tell I'm little bit um, congested today, so bear with me. But Jason had a great comment. He was basically like, "Why will AVs, autonomous vehicles, cost less?" And I think it comes from a very cynical kind of like perspective, if I were to be honest with Jason and everybody else. His question is this kind of like, why would they cost less? And I think the obvious answer is because there's no human driver and a human driver costs money, i.e., after all of our expenses, almost all of us rideshare drivers still make money. We get a wage. And if we're not in the car, then it's going to cost less. But there's a couple of points to this that I want to really bring up. Number one is that right now, Waymos, I think, are on par or even more than a lot of Ubers in different cities. And I think the reason why they're so expensive compared to what they could be is production cost, the cost per vehicle. Right now, there's only, I don't know, let's say 10,000 Waymo vehicles on the road. There's probably a lot less, but let's just say 10,000 for a number. Well, there's umpteen million Teslas on the road. And because there's so many more Teslas, as an example, the cost per vehicle drops, which means that your cost per vehicle will drop significantly. So when I say that my Tesla does full self-drive really well, what I'm saying is like, yes, I don't trust today to be fully autonomous, but the writing's on the wall. Like I can see the future really clearly. My Tesla, I could potentially go for hours without touching the steering wheel or the gas or the brake. Yeah, there is that one moment in time when I still need to do that, but that's going to slowly get less and less and less and less. And that means autonomous cars are coming. And if any of the autonomous car producers like Tesla produce the vehicles at volume, it will cost less. But my point to Jason about this being cynical, and I think he makes another comment in here about this idea of like, if the Ubers or the Lyfts of the world know there's more margin, they're going to keep that money for themselves. But that assumes there aren't competitors. And one of the great things about robo-taxi through Tesla is that there'll be more private ownership as opposed to Waymo, which is owned by Google, or Amazon and their autonomous vehicle. Robo-taxi will be through Uber, and you and I could potentially own a fleet of cars. That's the assumption of how it's going to work. So potentially in our own cities, there might be 20 robo-taxi services. There might be Uber, there might be Lyft, there might be Amazon, there might be others in there. So as a consumer, I can go into my phone and find an autonomous vehicle, not just through Uber. I'll have dozens of options. And that's kind of the way people are seeing the future out there. So hopefully, Jason, that answers your question. I love these conversations on the comments, so keep it up. Let's take a look at another question here. Okay, so we're still on full self-drive. Boy, when I talk about full self-driving, it really gets my fellow drivers, gets us going, right? So Autobahn says, give me examples of non-billionaires saying they want FSD. I don't have any. I don't. So basically, this was a video where this billionaire guy says he asks his Uber drivers, he hopes his Uber drivers have Teslas, especially late at night, so the Uber driver can then use full self-drive. And so I made a video about that. I was, that's the first time I've ever heard of a passenger asking for it. But Autobahn, this is what I can tell you. My passengers, when I turn it on full self-drive, they like it. I probably use full self-drive 7 out of 10 of my Uber trips. My goal is to hopefully impress them and excite them, get a conversation going, and hopefully earn a tip. That's kind of what my goal is. It gets, it's a conversation that I know how to handle, right? And so when I turn on full self-drive, they see the screen. I say, "Look, you want to see full self-drive?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, let's take a look at it." So I think the passengers are inquisitive. They're definitely not afraid of it. And when I use full self-drive with my passengers, I keep it on the entire ride, and, we tend to forget that it's on. That's the scary part. As we're coming close to the arrival, I'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna turn full self-drive off," and they almost always go, "Wow, I forgot that you had it on." So, yeah, so I don't have any passengers today asking for it, but I think it's in the future. Let's see what these other comments are. Okay, yeah. Eric. If you guys don't know, Eric is a private driver. I think he's out in California. He's killing it, doing a great job. So if you want to get into private driving, respond to some of Eric's comments because he definitely knows what he's doing and he's great. But Eric says it feels like you're cheering on the future of people losing their jobs. And I definitely don't feel that's what I'm doing. Um, there's a part of me as an economist that's fascinated by the world of transportation, and I definitely will make more content about autonomous cars this year because I think the world is going to change, not only for autonomous cars, but for artificial intelligence and robots. And I was at a dinner the other night, and every single person didn't mind having a robot in their house. I was like, would you pay $500 a month, like a subscription, like for your cell phone or something like that, to have a robot in your house that does all of your chores, folds your laundry, does your dishes, takes the trash out, I don't know, walks the dog, whatever. And every single person was like, yeah, that seems reasonable. Like, who wants to do chores? And why not have a maid or somebody else, a butler or whatever? I don't know what the right, a robot in your house doing it. And so I think humans are getting less and less afraid of artificial intelligence and robotics, and the future is very near. And in fact, in a very philosophical thing, humans went from, hunters and gatherers to farmers, from farmers into factories, from factories into the office. We're about to hit that next era where we're going from the office to what? I don't know. I don't know. And to Eric's point, like he's like, you're cheering on the future of people losing their jobs. Honestly, Eric, I'm just trying to point out the obvious. I think it's happening. And I think it behooves me to connect with my fellow drivers just to talk about it. Because I think this year, 2025, we'll see so many more autonomous interactions with vehicles. And passengers are going to want it more and more and more. So as a content creator in this space, I think I should be talking about it. So I'm going to. So there you go. So I'm not cheering it on, just observing and noting it. The driver on wheels, he goes, driving is easy, but rideshare isn't easy. And I wanted to leave on this because I did get so many comments about autonomous cars. And today, you and me were drivers. And it's hard. It's hard work. I know a lot of people think, well, you're just driving a car, but you and I know it's not just driving a car. It's so much more than just driving a car. It's physically hard to drive a car for 8, 10, 12 hours at a time. I know I'm putting on weight. I've got to come up with like a rideshare driver workout video. Put on like a sweatband and some sort of like workout outfit because as much as I try to stay in shape, the only shape I'm getting is a fat butt driving a car for so long. So physically, it's unhealthy to do what we do. But we have strangers in our car. We have an app trying to trick us. We're driving in unfamiliar places sometimes in bad weather. It's just hard. And I'm not saying it's rocket science. I'm not saying it's the most complicated thing in the world, but it's definitely not the same as working at McDonald's when the fryer says put the fryer thing in. It shouldn't be a minimum wage job, I guess is what I'm getting at. And so if there's one thing that I want to continue to do is help drivers earn more money by pointing out the complexities of the gig. And And we know it's complex because it's so hard for autonomous cars to do what we do. Right. So while I know the autonomous cars are coming, um, it's not like it's an easy thing for a robot to kind of go into a factory and do the same thing over and over and over again. There's thousands, if not millions, of parameters when driving a car on a city street, from potholes to different driving situations to pedestrians to passengers to other cars on the road, the weather. It's a complex thing, and as a human, you and I, we have the ability to kind of solve for all of that, but it takes a lot of physical, emotional, and mental energy to be a driver, and we need to get paid more. So there's that. So I wanted to kind of just point out, Christopher, he asked, where do I get a copy of the spreadsheet? I haven't shared my spreadsheet in a little while. The reason why is because I'm trying to build out Thrive. So I have a paid subscription for $9.99 on my website called Thrive. It's one-time payment. It helps me pay for all this kind of stuff, the website, just doing this content. I wish I was a Mr. Beast content creator getting billions of dollars or whatever he makes as a YouTuber, but I don't. I still have to Uber drive. So I do charge, but I have a depreciation calculator, a maintenance calculator, a fuel calculator, a weekly tax. So I have calculators, I have spreadsheets out there. I have a blog just for Thrivers. I have Thrive videos that I do for that. You can join Thrive on my website for $9.99. If that price is too much for you, I don't worry. You can join the YouTube channel, which is $2.99 per month. So it's a one-time fee of $9.99 on the website and $2.99 per month on YouTube. And I make exclusive content just for members. Now, I'm a numbers guy, so don't join if you don't like numbers. But so you'll probably see a lot more spreadsheets and calculators, but I want to help. So a couple of times members have asked me, hey, how much would this car cost me? And I would love to solve some problems like that. I can't do it instantaneously, and I can't answer everybody's question on how much their car is going to cost. I'm not a personal counselor or advisor, but I can show you my mental process of what I would do. And my background's in accounting and economics. I went to grad school for that kind of stuff. I've had a couple of businesses, and so I do numbers pretty well. Yeah, that's it. So today I just wanted to do a little bit of a Q&A. I'm going to do this more often. How about a live one? Would you guys like a live one? I don't really like live videos, if only because, yeah, I would mess up. I would mess up. It would be really hard to do a live video, but I'll see what I can do. Hey, so again, like, subscribe, all the basic stuff, and know that I'm cheering for you. I want you to drive your way in 2025. If humans are going away as drivers, I hope 2025 is the year that you can drive the way you want to drive. If you want to be a cherry picker, sitting at the airport waiting for a $200 ride, do it your way. If you want to go drive downtown at the bar scene and take a lot of short trips, do it that way. Whatever you want to do, drive your way. Be well. Be safe. Bye.